Good afternoon, good evening, sawabona, how you day? I just got a question for some of my brothers and sisters. Why are you talking about Rihanna and what she did? Do you really think that's important right now when our people are currently in a crisis of economic proportions? What is it that Rihanna did so bad that you're just gonna put all your energy into making a video about her? You could take that same energy that you have to make the video about Rihanna and the wrong she did and put it towards rebuilding our nation, starting with economics. Now, why is it that so many black YouTubers are not talking about the death of that black female whose age is 23, who was killed by a European white man she met on Bumble? Now that particular question goes to the black females who divest, the same black females who love black women and only want the best for black women. But we're not talking about how white men kill black women. I'm waiting for you divestors to speak about that. Synthetic G, Paris Milan, Tanya TKO. Why are y'all not talking about that black female who was murdered by that white man off of Bumble, who basically just got away with murder? Why aren't you not talking about that? But I guarantee you would talk about that black man who was 44 years old on the east side of Detroit who chopped up a black female. Y'all would talk about that all day long because that fits into your narrative. But when a white European man kills a black female, that doesn't fit your narrative because you worship the white man. See, that's how I know y'all full of it. And you're not serious about the lives of black females. Because it would not matter who killed the black female, you will be reporting it. And don't think for a second, Synthetic G, that I forgot about you talking about aborting black male babies. You gonna burn in hell for saying that. How dare you sit up and disgrace your people for money and the love of white men? Why don't you just go ahead and get yourself a white man and shut the fuck up about black men? And I know why you won't say nothing. And I know why you're not going to stop, because you want a black man. Many of you so-called divestors want black men. Or otherwise, black men would be in your mouth. That's how I know y'all fake. So many fake black YouTubers. I know so-called Pan-African on YouTube. By the name of his channel was called Pan-African Strikes Back. Now he sit up here, he talks about Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell and all the stuff that they do. See, but what he did, and he told on himself that he's also an FBA fuckboy. You trying to fuse Pan-Africanism with FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, who, by the way, are not even united. It's just an online hate group. But they don't hate Europeans, but they hate African people. They call one of my dear sisters dusty and ugly. And I didn't take kindly to that. Because she's beautiful and very intelligent. And she got more heart and she speaks the truth. Unlike you FBA fuckboys who don't know no truth. Can't even come up with an economic plan other than to give your money to Tariq Nasheed, who's doing absolutely nothing for black people. And not to mention this black man disrespected MLK and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad by posting a picture trying to look militant, talking about the Voting Rights Act they have violation of black Americans in mind. Who in the hell Martin Luther King was marching voting rights for? Now, personally, I don't agree with the fact that we had to fight for something that's ours by nature, because this is not the first time we've been voted. We voted 100 years before. We had black people in Congress before. But I'm not going to disrespect Dr. King, because he died for what he believed in, whether I agreed with it or not. I tell you, my brothers and sisters, we are in such an identity crisis that it doesn't make any sense how we still functioning. I can't stress enough how we talk about how some of us want to be Indians, some of us want to be Asians, some of us want to be Arabs, some of us want to be Mexicans, some of us want to be Europeans. Most of us want to reject our African heritage. Why? What did our brothers and sisters in Africa do to us? Do you know that some of our people who fought to keep us there before these Europeans took us? Now we got black people here in America 200-300 years later crying about this is our land. But yet we can't get together to take over this land. But we rather work for the white man. We want to join the white man's military. Talk about I'm a proud American. How is you a proud American when our people are still being discriminated against on a daily basis? We still, to the very day, we still fighting and going to restaurants that's not even black owned. How is it that Koreans, Asians, Mexicans, Arabs shutting up shop in predominantly black areas? Why is it we not owning those? Why is it that we're not owning gas stations in our areas? Why is it that we're not owning beauty salons in our areas? Why is it that we're not owning restaurants in our areas? Why is it we're not building up industries in our areas? So that our people don't have to get all here and start robbing each other. We're not broke people. We giving our money, we giving our wealth away to other races who don't give a damn about us. While we being sit up here being manipulated about individualism, you see other races thinking as a nation. Now they have all the businesses. Now they taking our money. But yeah, we want to sit there, we want to complain instead of building up our own. Now we want to glorify Black Wall Street, which is fine. But we can't live in the past. We can upgrade what Black Wall Street did. The only thing that Black Wall Street didn't do right was have a security team. Because if our people had a security team, there would still be a Black Wall Street today. And who would have killed those crackers? We don't have our own, we don't have a military, but we got guns galore on the streets, killing each other. We have all these guns. And our women are still being raped and murdered. Our children still being taken in the welfare system, which is another form of kidnapping. We're not talking about these issues that's a bit important to us. Most of us don't even own no land here in the United States. Most of us don't even own no business here in the United States. I got a question. How is it that we as black people in the United States have more degrees but less businesses? And back in the day, 100 years ago, we had more businesses than degrees. We just did a flip-flop. We went from having more businesses to less businesses and more degrees. Working for the Europeans. So y'all, some of y'all black people not serious about no revolution, man. You're not serious at all. We have all these black people with degrees and yet no businesses and working for white people talking about I made it. You made yourself a more educated, more qualified slave. I respect my brothers and sisters on the continent of Africa because damn near everything out there they own. They out there building their own roads. No thanks to the government, which is corrupt. Same corrupt government here. But the difference is our people are black. They're black politicians out there. These are white politicians. Not saying we don't have black politicians, but them black politicians ain't shit. They stick out like a sore thumb. They've been in there 20, 30 years, not doing nothing to benefit black people, but it's just to benefit themselves. They nothing more than a representation of white supremacy, or I like to say white inferiority. Because in truth, white people don't have no power. There's more homeless white people in America. Hell, there's homeless white people in Africa. But you don't see that. You see black people who are homeless. You know, it's crazy. They want to make it look like we're struggling here in the United States. We're not struggling. Only thing we're struggling with here in the United States as far as black people is working together to take over this country. The FBA is not talking about doing nothing other than talking about black people in Africa. I don't know, some of them just need to shut the fuck up, excuse my language, because they're not talking about anything. They want to talk about relationships. You look at the relationships that our brothers and sisters in Africa, not saying it's perfect, but our people have values. We don't have no values here in the United States. We don't even value our lives, from what I'm seeing. You know, it's such simple solutions. Our ancestors laid it out for us centuries ago. We just didn't look deep. Most of us just did not look deep enough. We are the creators of wealth, which means by nature, we are entrepreneurs, business owners. What's good of having all this education if it's not going to be to the benefit of your people? That means you are being miseducated. Now we complain about the educational system here in the United States. You know, they talking about our children, our HD, whatever they call it, HDDSD or whatever that's called. Our children are not dumb. They're just not being taught. And you got these is Eurocentric educational systems. What is my child not being taught? I can name 3 things right off the bat that black children are not being taught. African history, economics, African pride. Three things right there that we can start building our own curriculum, thus building our own schools for our children. Simple, right? But what's difficult is the uniting of our people so that we can build the economy to educate our children. But remember, we love our children so much, but yet we don't love them enough to build them their own school so that way we can teach them what we want them to learn. We steady keep sending them to the Europeans to be brainwashed. And here we go. We got black people who are Christians. How many of you actually read the Bible? How many of you know the history of Christianity? How many of you read the history of the popes? Do you know there's popes in history who gave the power to enslave us, making it an act of God? I just learned that myself. You know, we need to take the time to sit down and to read. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to my brothers and sisters, my real brothers and sisters, who take that time each day to be on YouTube to teach us new things. But we also got to do our own personal research as well. We need to go beyond that. And I said, if there's any black-owned African-centered schools out there, please let me know, because we need to build more of them. If you feel as though whatever our children are not learning in these schools, drop them in the comments below. Let's have a discussion about this. Let's discuss about building an economic plan that's going to be to the benefit of all African people. I think I'm going to end this video here. I know it was nothing more than a rant. And honestly, I'm not really expecting many views. You know, my sole purpose here, one of the reasons I created YouTube channels because I want to reach out to my brothers and sisters here in America, here in the diaspora, on the continent, because I want to unite with my brothers and sisters. It's time for us to quit being separated from each other. We have a lot of hurts, we go through a lot of pain. And I understand. But we don't need to be taking it out on each other. Because all we're doing is making things worse for us. And the European who initially did all this to us walks away scot-free. And, you know, a real strong message to my brothers. Y'all need some brothers, you need to quit acting like punks. And you're a proud African man. You need to stand up as one. And you need to speak out against all this injustice. And believe me when I tell you, when we start truly speaking out against all the injustices and start forming organizations that's going to be to the benefit of African people, our sisters will support us. Now, I'm talking about real, true African brothers here in the United States, in the diaspora, and on the continent. We need to come together. We are supposed to lead our people. Not look to no Europeans, not looking to no Arabs, not looking to no Asians, not looking to no Mexicans. Damn sure not no Indians. I love you, my brothers and sisters. Again, I'm not expecting many views because the truth doesn't get heard. Salagache, be well, take care.